This House Party Volume 1, House Party Volume 1, House Party Volume 1. Kingdom Beer presents a House Party Volume 1 at the Strip Lade Coco on Sunday, August 6, 8 p.m. Featuring Mr. Mix, DJ Mafia, DJ Flintastic, Oprah, Martin the Morning, Peter Bros, and Prince Waddix. With special guest artists Philip Hosford and Cowboy Julian Riviere. Shiloh, House Party Volume 1, entrance only $20.
Why do I keep fooling myself?
Partners include Starren and Sons, Digicel, TVS Radio, QFM, the big station, Big Edge, Kyrie FM, Gator Sounds, Tony Sports, Mapping 2K4, and more. House Party Volume 1. House Party Volume 1, bringing back the days of intimate dancing, Afro, miniskirt, maxi skirt, petticoat, shirt, jack, crimpling, terrelin, and polyester, block heel. House Party Volume 1 at the Strip Lade Coco, Sunday, August 6, 8 p.m. C'est obligatoire, vous êtes là.
All right, it's 23 before the hour of 9 o'clock. Welcome back to the hot seat. And we have with us in studio two health personnel, Dr. Nestle, who is the district officer, district health officer, district DDO, district medical officer, all right, for the Roseau area, along with Ms. Sabrina Bernard, who is a health educator and also a nurse. And they're there to talk about a subject which should interest me quite a bit. This is the issue of red eyes or pink eyes. And yeah, it's kind of interesting because they're there to talk about this, and I am literally suffering from this particular you know, ailment. So it's good to have both of you. Dr. Nestle, let me start with you. Tell us a little bit about pink eyes and also how prevalent is it currently in Dominica?
Okay. Good morning, Dominica, and good morning, sir. Thank you for having the both of us here today. Under these circumstances, I wish it was different, and to our shock, you are also suffering from what we are speaking of today. So I hope the information that we give will help not only the Dominican listeners, but for you as well. Yes. Okay. So red eyes or pink eyes is one of the most common non-traumatic illnesses of the eye. It is usually caused by a virus or a bacteria, more commonly. And what happens is that these infectious organisms basically take over the normal defense mechanism of the eye, causing the conjunctiva, which is the clear tissue that coats the eyeball and the inner lining of the eyelid, to become infected. And it appears red in appearance. We call that erythemal injection. Mm-hmm. And there are different types of red eyes, but most commonly what we're dealing with right now is the viral or bacterial cause of red eye in Dominica. So we're here to talk about that today, right? Right. Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right. So yes, so you've kind of set it out, and that's what. So basically, you're saying that the current strain that we have in Dominica, and that's what I was concerned about, because since I got it, I was doing some of my own research,
right.
And then it was determined. I found out that if it is antibiotics would only be able to be used if it was a bacterial that caused it.
Correct.
But how can you differentiate between whether it's caused by a virus or by bacteria?
Okay, there are certain symptoms that our patients demonstrate that can kind of guide us. So it's like a clinical diagnosis is what we call it, unless we choose to go further and do a culture or swab of the eye to actually zone in on the particular cause. Patients who suffer from bacterial conjunctivitis usually present with the following symptoms: the redness of the eyes, sometimes pain in the posterior aspect of the eye. They tell you, I feel like there's a lot of pain and pressure behind my eyeball, a feeling of a foreign object in the eye, a gravelly feeling. Some say, I feel like there's sand in my eye. Others complain of waking up in the morning with their eyes crusted over or stuck together with what we call in Dominica lassie, basically, and stuck to the point where they must clean it out before they can open the eyes. Some complain of photophobia, where the light is a serious irritant to the eye. Others complain of just a general discomfort and swelling of the upper eyelid or the lower eyelid as well. And we've had some very severe cases where it almost looks like the eyeball is protruding out of the orbit. In terms of the viral form of the disease, the presentation is a little less severe. The discharge that's noted is usually what we call serous, looking almost like a liquid. The crusting over is not seen, and I can say the symptomatology is less intense with those who suffer from the viral form of the disease.
Interesting, because as you went through the various symptoms there, I think you've just diagnosed me. The bacterial type, everything that you defined, you know.
So just looking at you, I can diagnose you.
Yeah, I know. It's terrible. The pain and you know, the gravelly feeling in the eye and so on, and the crusting over and all of that good stuff. But what's surprising was how quickly it came on, and how quickly, you know, the whole thing develops. And I would like you, as you talk about this as well, to speak about how it can be transferred, because I knew my dad had it. Correct. I just did not think that by simply hugging him or helping him out that I would get it.
Correct.
And you know, so can you explain to us how, you know, nurse, how it is transferred and what can be done to prevent its non-transference, because it seems to me to be highly contagious.
Yes, it is. Good morning, sir, and good morning to the listening audience. For contacting red eye, that's what we're speaking about, you have direct contact. So if you touch the person or hug the person, direct contact, you will get red eyes that way. They are indirect contact. If the person have red eyes and then the person touch their eye and end up touching the surface, the tabletop or the doorknob, then you can also contact it by that way. The virus then goes onto the table, onto the doorknob. You touch the table, you touch the doorknob, then you end up rubbing your eye, and then you will end up getting red eye that way as well. So that's why we advise individuals that when they have red eye and they clean in their eye, we advise persons to use a tissue instead of using a rag or towel to clean the eye. Reason for that is that if you use a rag, most likely you may not discard of it right away, and you may rest it on the table, or you may rest it somewhere. Somebody else might get in contact with it, might touch it, and end up touching the eye. That way you're going to give the person red eye. Okay? We also advise individuals to use a tissue and then you discard of it. When you discard of it, nobody else will able to get it if you discard of it. Also, we advise persons to use 70% alcohol. As I said, sometimes they may touch the table or touch the doorknobs. So use 70% alcohol to clean your table, your surfaces, your doorknobs. So you always clean your doorknobs. So if you're at home and there is an individual at home with a red eye, because remember, the person might accidentally touch their eye, end up touching the doorknob to go to the bathroom, to go to the bedroom, and you might come along and hold that doorknob as well. So we ask persons to really clean your tops, clean your doorknobs as frequently as possible in order to prevent you from getting it. And the other thing is that hand washing, it is very important. Saying that you might end up touching your eye, we advise persons to always wash their hands. So if you wash your hands and then you touch a surface, you may not be able to spread it that way. So hand washing is and proper hand washing is very important to mitigate the spread of red eye.
When you say proper hand washing, what does that entail?
When we say proper hand washing, sometimes we say, okay, we're going to wash our hands. We just wet our hands, we apply soap, we just rub it together and we rinse. And we say that's it, that's our hand washing. But we advise persons, there are special areas on the hands that we sometimes miss when we're washing our hands. So after wetting your hand and you lather your hand, we advise person to rub the back of your hand. You lace your fingers, because most times you don't pay emphasis to the fingers. So if you lace your fingers, you might remove some of the bacteria. Also the tips of your fingers. So then you rub the tips of your finger into the palm of your hands, and this will also help. And then your wrist as well, and then you rinse your finger. At least you'll pay attention to areas of the hands that most times are not washed properly.
Okay. Now, let me ask you, typically, how long do the symptoms last? And also, I've been reading that in terms of the contagious impact, being able to spread it, that happens within the first 24 hours. Can you speak to that?
Right. The symptoms of red eye usually last about 10 to 14 days. Okay, 10 to 14 days, but with non-complicated cases, it can actually fall even before that. I mean, it can end before the 10th to the 14th day. So what we ask our clients to do is that if they notice that the symptoms are prolonged, going beyond that time period, then definitely revisit us at the health center. And more than likely, we may have to refer them to specialist ophthalmologists on the island to further intervene, because at that point it may be beyond our care. What was your other question? I'm sorry.
The contagious, being able to spread it, that it was spread within the first 24 hours.
Right. So once you're tearing, once the eyes are red, you are contagious. And like Nis just said, it's easily spread by contact. So you'd be surprised. Someone with red eyes someone who has red eyes, for instance, there's an incubation period, about a week. Okay? So during that time, you are still infectious. Someone with red eye speaking over you, their droplets from the eye can easily fall, let's say, into your eyes or onto the surfaces. You come into contact with it, you can get the disease. So they're infectious even at that stage. And then they're definitely infectious when they start to show symptoms, or once the eye is tearing, once the eye is red. Okay.
All right, let's talk a little bit about the treatment. What should individuals do? Because I've been getting a lot of advice, and I'll tell you it ranges from using young coconut water to using urine. Somebody called and told me yesterday that I should use urine to wash the eye. Green tea was another one that was suggested. And what does the medical profession recommend as good treatments for pink eye or red eyes?
Recommended treatment for red eye, we ask persons to use clean water. When we say clean water, we advise persons to boil the water, leave it to cool, and then you rest it on your refrigerator to get cold, and then you use that water to clean the eye with a tissue, not a towel. We also advise persons to use coconut water, young jelly as we say, to wash the eye as well. So we recommend these two things for cleaning or treatment for washing the eye.
So just those two, none of the others that I spoke about, the green tea and...
First time I'm hearing of green tea.
Yeah, the non-conventional methods that you mentioned, I have heard of them a lot whilst working at the health center. Definitely the urine was brought up. It's not a recommendation that we give from an orthodox medical standpoint. Most times, like I said, the red eye is caused by bacterial virus, okay? If it's bacterial in origin, then we have to treat with an antibacterial. And what we do is we give a broad spectrum antibiotic, something that we know would most likely target the bacterial cause of the red eyes. If it's, so we cover with an antibacterial ointment or a gel. Okay, if it's bacterial in origin, we also ask patients to use what we call cold compresses. The way Nurse explained it is perfect. You can boil your water, put it to cool, and use the cold compresses for the swelling of the lower lid and the upper lid. So that is something I actually recommend for you. In addition to that, the gravelly dry feeling that's felt, we recommend re-wetting drops. So that helps to provide some form of moisture to the eye, because with the red eye, we found that sometimes it is tearing, sometimes it's very dry and gritty and very uncomfortable. If it's viral in origin, the young coconut water, I don't know how it works, but a lot of patients have attested to it being positive in terms of from a treatment standpoint. What I have learned, though, from speaking with Dr. Ricketts, is that it's the concern is how that young coconut water is collected. Okay, if it's collected in a container where possibly another infectious agent can be introduced to the young coconut water, then that can actually be spread to the eye and complicate the red eye that person is experiencing. Another form of treatment that I've heard of is the dew water. That too, if the collection process is not done well, then you can reintroduce another organism into the eye and superimpose another bacterial or fungal infection on top of the red eyes that patient is already suffering. So the best thing to do is use water. Use water that has been boiled, free of organisms, free of bacteria, now cooled, and use it as a cooling agent for the eye. With red eyes, we found that honestly, you don't always need to have the wide spectrum antibiotic drop or ointment. Within 10 to 14 days, this is a disease that is self-limited, meaning that after that time period, the symptoms should go away. You should get better. Okay? So those of you who do not have any antibiotic, continue with your home remedies, continue with the cooling measures that we've mentioned, and in 10 to 14 days, hopefully you should be alleviated of the symptoms. If the symptoms continue, if they worsen, then we ask you to see your nearest district medical officer. We will review you, and if it necessitates that you see a specialist, we will definitely refer you. If we've treated you with a broad spectrum antibiotic, which we often do, and no resolution is found, then you must return to the health center, because in that case, you may have a complicated form of the disease or something else occurring where we need to refer you to a specialist.
Okay, wonderful. All right, let's go to the telephones, and there is somebody who has a question for Dr. Nesty and Nurse Bernard. Good morning to you.
Yes, good morning, Dr. Fountain, and good morning to your guest in studio.
Yes, good morning.
Yes, I don't want to ask the individual in studio where do they think that it's come from. It could be someone travel from outside the island and then come in island, or vice versa. You know, I don't want to ask that question to them. But all I want the people to do is to be vigilant, because we live in a time of chemical and germ warfare. This is the age and time that we're in right now. And I want individuals to have an open mind towards things that happen in our environment. How comes when it's festive, we're doing the Creole Fest, there's flu or virus or something always around after Carnival? We have to think, is it someone spreading it intentionally amongst our people? And how comes every time there's something around, the pharmaceutical company always have the remedy or always have something prescribed for it? So all I want people to be vigilant and open their mind. This is the time we're in. Be mindful of who comes amongst us, because people will spread things amongst us like we are like guinea pigs. Thank you.
Okay, Doc, I'm going to ask you and Liz Bernard to make notes. Let's just take a couple more calls. I think the caller was concerned about whether or not these things are being spread deliberately, and whether people are actually benefiting or profiting from it. So let's take a couple more calls, and then we will. Hello.
Yeah, good morning, Dr. Fontaine.
Yes, good morning.
And good morning to your guest. I just want to ask your guest a question. If one has the red eye subsided, say after about 4, 5, 6 days, well, you would know that the redness is going, the alleged particles in the eye, you know, and whatever the symptoms you have is gone, or rather nearly gone. So you're about 3, 4, 5 days into that thing, and it's subsided. But you then get into contact with somebody who has it full blown. Can you get the red eyes back? Can it reoccur? That's my question.
Okay, and a very good question indeed. So I'm going to allow the doctor to answer, or the nurse to answer this. and then refer to the first question as well.
We had a slight technical difficulty with the first question, so I didn't quite get the first question.
Okay, the first question, basically, what he was asking was whether or not these things are deliberate, because it always seems that there is some outbreak of something around major events in Dominica, either Carnival or Independence. You have some of those outbreaks. Either it's today now it's red eye, another time it's something else. And the question he was asking is these things deliberate? Is somebody deliberately spreading these particular things? Because, and he hinted at the fact that it might be that the pharmaceutical companies, they have the answer because they have some cure for it.
Well, given that, it's a good question, but from my capacity, I have no information on that practice. So I really I'm not the best person to answer this question. With the second caller, yes, you can get red eyes again. Even if you've had the symptoms, they've subsided, nearly gone away, you come into contact with someone else who has red eyes, yes, because there are different strains of the virus, and that can cause the red eye. So yes, you're still susceptible to getting reinfected. I had one friend of mine who said that I was using a lot of medical terms, so I apologize for that. If anyone does not understand anything that I've said, I'm willing to clarify, because we really want to get the message out there.
Exactly.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and part of getting this message out there, I guess, is helping people understand, you know, how. Now, the question is, Doc, and what I'm interested in, are there any long-lasting impacts that this could have?
Very rare. There is no absolutes in medicine. Very rarely there could be long-lasting symptomatology or sequelae where red eyes is concerned. Most times, however, what we've seen is that it resolves after 10 to 14 days. This is what I've been saying since I've been on the program. However, you can have cases where it is so complicated that you do have long-lasting sequelae, and at that point we do refer them to specialists such as Dr. Ricketts, who will then take over the case.
All right, let's take some more telephone calls on this. Good morning to you.
Dr. Fontaine, good morning to you, sir.
Yes, good morning.
Welcome back home.
Thank you.
Good morning to your guests, the doctors, etc. I want to ask the doctors, Doc, if any experiment has been conducted to determine whether sulfur spring water in Soufriere, the cold spring and the hot spring, any experiment conducted to ascertain whether they will help in alleviating the symptoms of red eyes. Because I can tell you a lot of ailments of a bacterial nature, and I can vouch for that, when you bathe in the hot spring or the cold spring, they seem to disappear. So have they conducted any experiment to ascertain whether those two waters, the cold sulfur spring and the hot sulfur spring at Soufriere, would be any help in alleviating this problem? Thank you.
Okay, your question as to whether any experiments have been conducted in the use of the cold spring or the hot springs to alleviate the bacterial cause of red eye or the cause of red eye, I can say that I am not aware of any at this time. However, you also made a very good point that you've noticed that a lot of ailments are actually treated by bathing in the sulfur spring waters. That's because we found that we know that a lot of our pharmaceutical or medications are sulfur based. So it's almost like a topical treatment with a sulfur with 100% sulfur medication. So if that has been found to be an alleviating factor with a number of our symptoms, then it is not far-fetched or not impossible, because a lot of our medications are sulfur-based as well. So it's a good it would make actually a good research paper. So it's something to look into. Thank you so much.
Yes, let me ask you, Nurse Bernard, and that is for me as well, and of course for those suffering out there. Let's go back to the way in which the red eye spread. If you will not get it because, like, I have it now and you guys are sitting next to me, you will not get it, right?
No,
you have to literally you would have to touch something that I have touched and then put your hands in your eye. So if, for example, if you never touch your eye, there's no way that you could get the red eyes, right?
Right. Or, as we say, direct contact. If you hug someone,
right,
then you can get it because you're face to face.
Right.
Then yes, and as doctor was saying, that the droplets could maybe fall into your eye or on the surface, and you'd up get in contact with it. So these other ways. And if you like touch the table here and I end up touching it and I just by accident just rub my eyes, then yes, I will get red eye.
Okay, so basically people need to be aware that they have to avoid rubbing their eyes, or if they do that, they need, if they are around somebody, to wash their hands. Wash their hands.
So that's why we advise individuals, like, well, now school is closed for like the school children. When school was open, we would ask them to stay away from school. So we ask them to stay away from crowded places like schools, work. So if you're sick with red eyes at work, you should be home, and church as well. So the crowded places, you stay away, because by that way you might end up spreading it to someone. You might just by accident hug someone, or by rub your eyes and end up shaking somebody's hand. So then, yes.
I want to reference one case I had of a patient who had recently gotten married, and at her wedding there was a guest who had the red eyes, and was not full blown. She hugged the bride, and lo and behold, the bride got the red eyes, her husband got the red eyes, and all of their kids got the red eyes. So that was the gift to the family. It's very infectious, very contagious. So we cannot reiterate how important it is to wash your hands.
Very important.
Wash your hands, swab surfaces. Right now we came into the studio, we touched the doorknob. Mr. Fountain obviously opened the door to come in, so we have to ensure that we wash our hands, swap our cell phones, the pens that we're using, and even for the safety of the other workers, all services need to be swapped.
Yes, and what I did before I came, I make sure I washed my hands as well, and
wonderful.
Made sure of that. Yes,
wonderful.
So I've been paying. All right, let's take. We are just about out of time. Let's take one more call. Let's take one more caller before we come to an end here. Good morning to you.
Yes, good morning, Dr. Franklin.
Good morning.
Good morning to the medical doctors and so on at the studio.
Good morning.
I heard Felix Anderson talking about mirroring, not urine. But I heard somebody ask a question as to whether you can get red eye again, and I don't think I heard the answer. And another thing I heard about is grapefruit. You squeeze half of a grapefruit in a glass and give it water and use that to wash the eye. So the doctors can expound further on that. Good morning.
All right, thank you very much. And talking about the grapefruit, another one I heard and I forgot to mention was breast milk as another cure that is being bandied out there. So if you talk about the grapefruit and breast milk, and also he said he did not hear the answer about so if you could just respond to that quickly.
Okay, yes, caller, thanks for calling, and very important question. Yes, you can be reinfected with red eye after getting it, because as doctor was saying, there are different strains of red eyes, and if you end up hugging someone or touching the surface, yes, you'll be able to get it as well, and rubbing your eyes if someone have red eyes. Grapefruit, this is the first time I'm hearing about it, but as I said, the recommended treatment that we have is the clean boiled water, cold boiled water, and the coconut water. Grapefruit, I really cannot answer this one because I don't know about the grapefruit.
But when I think about it, vitamin C has always been known to be an antioxidant in terms of like it can actually devour viruses, etc. Whenever we have a cold or a viral common cold, we encourage people to drink some orange juice, vitamin C. So it's almost like introducing vitamin C into the eye, and maybe it's serving as an antioxidant to the virus in the eye. However, with the pain that people feel with the red eyes, I don't know if the acidic content of the grapefruit is the best remedy. But if it works, I'm very open to hearing what different patients are saying, but I don't encourage everyone to really put direct grapefruit juice into their eyes.
Okay. All right. Wonderful. Well, Dr. Nesty and Liz Bernard, we're out of time, but thank you so much for coming in and for letting us know exactly what to do and how to prevent it. But one final question though, how widespread is it currently? Do you have any sense as to how widespread it is? This particular outbreak?
Yes, we have red eyes in our 7 health district around the island. So it is very contagious, it's very widespread. So that's why we're asking persons out there to be very vigilant, to be cautious, and to help to try to prevent themselves from getting infected with red eyes, and just follow the what we spoke about is very important. So if they were listening, then you just use this and help to prevent yourself from getting red eye.
All right, wonderful. All right, thanks to both of you.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Supermarkets island-wide. So shop now and win cash with Robert. Roberts, for the love of cooking. Local distributors, Fine Foods Inc.
Honey, what would you like?
Something to tingle my taste buds. Something sizzly and smoky.
Oh, yeah?
Something crispy and savory. Something hot and spicy. Something to satisfy all my tastes.
Oh, wow.
Honey, snap out of it.
Sorry, hon.
I'm asking you for KFC's new Smoke and Fire. Smoky, fiery.
Oh, wow. New recipe from KFC. Smoke and Fire. Spicy, smoky, crispy. For a limited time only. From KFC. Try our 2 sizzling offers. 4 wings, 1 fry, 1 16-ounce drink. Or 2-piece chicken, 1 corn, 1 16-ounce drink. Each offer only $12. KFC. Finger licking good.
Like us on Facebook.
Smoke and Fire. Fire.
Storm Tip, brought to you by Save-A-Lot. A storm can come at any time during the hurricane season. being prepared is very important. Prepare for a storm by stocking up on emergency supplies, including canned and other non-perishable foods, lots of water, batteries, lanterns, flashlights, storage containers, and resealable bags, first aid kit, and battery-operated radio to stay up to date on the latest information. Also remember to have your mobile phones fully charged and have all emergency numbers handy. Visit Save-A-Lot Supermarket and HBC Department, and we will get you fully ready for any storm.
All right, it's already 10 minutes going past the hour of 9 o'clock. I want to welcome you to another fine food stop this Thursday. It's Thursday the 6th of July 2017. I'm here with Rosemary, my colleague from Save-A-Lot HBC. We're here in the fine food stop, and we'll be speaking about the specials going on at HBC. Good morning to you, Rose. Welcome to the program.
Good morning to you, Lennon. Good morning to Dominica. Good morning to all our friends in the region. You know, it's always a pleasure to be here to let you know what's happening at your favorite store and the supermarket on Island, Save-A-Lot. But it's always a pleasure to be with you, Lennon.
Always a pleasure for me to host the program. Rose, we are a late start because of the program that preceded us, speaking about red eyes and a little some health tips. But Rose, we got something big going on at Save-A-Lot HBC right now. Can you tell us about it?
Yes, Lennon, definitely. We have something great going on, something big going on. As usual, each and every opportunity that we get to give back to our customers or in giving back to the public, we always appreciate it. And we just want our customers to know that it is back to school time. And while somebody may say, but Rosemary, l'école pas quand même fini fait, mais on peut parler quoi back to school.
No, it's never too early to plan.
It is never too early to plan.
And to get your items for next.
That's it. And that's the way Save-A-Lot does it. We ensure that we are always on point, always on time. And we are launching our back to school promotion today in a big way. And over the years, we have been giving and giving and giving. But every year you have to think of what are you going to give back to the public? What are you going to give back that they can really appreciate? And we always think of something that will come in handy and something that is the person is actually in need of. It doesn't make sense to give you something and you're not going to use it. So for the first time we thought of, why not give our customers some big bookshelves that can actually accommodate your computer. It can accommodate all your books for you to study. And that's what we are giving back to our customers this back to school season. And we are giving away two
of these computer
big bookshelves. And I'm saying, Matt, Lennon, it's already on display at Save-A-Lot.
Quite a few people, I'm sure, are interested in it.
Yes, and people actually want to purchase it, but we actually brought them for that purpose, and we are going to be giving it back to two lucky students. Will definitely be enjoying that bookshelf, and that bookshelf will not only be for the student, for the children, but parents can actually use it. So it's like a family giveaway. So we'll be giving away two, and then we will be giving away in between on a bi-weekly basis. Lennon, we will be giving away some other prizes to all our lucky winners. But how do you qualify though?
I was just about to ask you, how do you qualify? How do you take part? What do you have to do?
You simply have to spend $100 in our health and beauty care department that is located upstairs. All you have to do, write your name, your telephone number at the back of the receipt, and we're going to place that in the barrel for you, and that qualify you. But you must buy stationery items. You must buy back to school items. So you may spend $100, you may spend like a 50 buying books or a school bag, and you probably purchase a school shoe. Because you know Save-A-Lot have everything for back to school. And before I tell you to write your name, you must be saying, but Kisa Ijani in a store. Well, Kisa Ijani, this store is well filled.
I saw that. I went there, you had a lot of stock.
We have everything for back to school. We have all the school bags, and we have all the characters you can think of in terms of school bags, because we know children, especially from preschool age to grade 6, they love their character bags to go to school. We also have the character lunch bag to match the bag. And our character lunch bag, they are beautiful. I think you can only get this bag at Save-A-Lot because we ensure that we get those with the handle and the bottom piece that you can actually put the children their sandwich bowl below, and then on top, you zip it below and you can put the bottle of water and the juice. So which means to say, whatever you put below, if it's a little lunch and it is
separated.
Warm, it's separated and it keeps it warm. And we have all our stationery items in terms of exercise book. You know, Save-A-Lot actually ensure that we bring in basic, the best in quality of exercise book in a large variety of colors if the teacher want to choose per subject. And also, Save-A-Lot is known for craft.
Oh yes, so craft
and I want
items.
everybody to come to Save-A-Lot from tomorrow for their craft items.
I know what I want. Know what I have to buy for my son. So Play-Doh, scissors, your rulers, markers, pencils, pens, your colored pencils, your stars, your glue. All
and
this.
your favorite googly eyes, your
googly
channel
eyes.
stem.
Oh, I mean,
You
that's
just have to-
I know what you have there, Rosemary. Enter that aisle and you have everything for craft for your
Everything
child.
for craft items, and we want our customers to know that you do not even have to wait for the book list, because you know all the schools know that they can get their craft items at Save-A-Lot. And I always ask them, you may buy the exercise book later, because they'll always have the exercise book, but craft items, they're always limited and it's difficult to find craft items. So that's why we want our customers to be on point. So from tomorrow, God spare, you can start coming in to get your craft items and all your stationery items for back to school. But remember, when you spend that $100, you qualify to win these 2 bookshelves that's about $1,400 in value.
Wow, wow, wow. All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll be wrapping up with Rosemary and speaking to Cecil about hurricane season. We'll be back after this.
Save-A-Lot. A storm can come at any time during the hurricane season. Being prepared is very important. Prepare for a storm by stocking up on emergency supplies, including canned and other non-perishable foods, lots of water, batteries, lanterns, flashlights, storage containers, and resealable bags, first aid kit, and battery-operated radio to stay up to date on the latest information. Also remember to have your mobile phones fully charged and have all emergency numbers handy. Visit Save-A-Lot Supermarket and HBC Department, and we will get you fully ready for any storm.
All right, so we're back in the morning. We're back in the morning, and we're speaking to Rosemary about what's going on at Save-A-Lot HBC. We spoke about the back-to-school promotion. Spend $100 on school supplies and get a chance to win this big bookshelf. That's also a computer table as well. This back to school season, this summer, as you get your children ready for back to school. But Rosemary, we also know that we're in the hurricane season. That's why we have Cecil here. We're going to be speaking about disaster preparedness in a while. But I know you have quite a few items for the hurricane season at Save-A-Lot.
Well, yes, Lennon, we are definitely in the hurricane season, and as usual, we encourage our customers to come into Save-A-Lot. As I said before, early preparation is key for the hurricane season, and at Save-A-Lot, we are well stocked with your mini lantern, and they come with their 4 Duracell batteries and 3 Duracell batteries. It depends on which mini lantern that you pick up. We just want you to know that they are very bright, 105 lumens, and we have another one with 150 lumens, and the lumen depends, and it makes it very, very bright. And also they are LED lights, LED. Yeah. Also to let you know that right now, by today, if you come into the store, you might just be the lucky person to get one of our beautiful lights. And all you have to do to that light is just one soft touch and your light comes on.
Really?
Oh, only at Save-A-Lot, Matt. Only at Save-A-Lot.
Matt, I know. It's Matt.
Look, we are Matt because I'm so used to my Matt.
I know.
But just to say, Lennon, that Our lucky customers who walk in today will get the opportunity to buy that light. And our customers know that these lights, they really do not remain on the shelves because it's only at Save-A-Lot you can get that type of quality, soft touch, and then you have your lights and you can hang that or you can put it anywhere on your bedroom, your dining table, anywhere. If you want to just hang it in the room, it is okay. We also have the largest selection in batteries. You know, you have to be well stocked with your batteries. And also during the hurricane season, remember you need to get your large storage container. If you're walking into the store on Saturday, if the Lord tarry, you will be getting your Rubbermaid large storage container. And I want our customers to know that these things, they sell real quick, so you can walk in. But guess what you need for the hurricane season? And most people really don't even think about it. Who's after hurricanes, the time ain't going?
Oh, yes.
It's mosquito season,
season, yes.
plus hurricane season. No electricity. What do you get? Mosquito bite may go in your ears. So it's not easy when they are buzzing. I definitely can't stand them buzzing in my ears.
But Rosemary, there's one mosquito in my room, I have to get up and kill it.
And let me tell you something, the bite isn't sweet either.
No. Hi, sir.
So guess what? You know, Save-A-Lot is always on point. So you need to come into Save-A-Lot from tomorrow and get all your citronella candles.
All right, so you can have your citronella candles on and keep the mosquitoes away.
We have citronella for your living room, for your porch, for your bedroom. Beautifully designed to uplift any beautiful home.
All right.
If you see these citronella candles, I can tell you must purchase that for the hurricane season.
Yeah, because what happens when you want to enjoy the outdoors, you want to sit outside, but 1, 5, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, Rosemary, c'est mango kamanje.
The kamanje, so you must buy this huge pail of citronella, and I tell you they are so beautiful. You just and then the price is right. I can tell you, Save-A-Lot is really working with we're working with the customers in terms of pricing, Matt.
Lennon. I get been called.
And the kid young Matt.
Rosemary, know that we have lots more to discuss, but Cecil is here, and we'll be speaking to Cecil in a minute about disaster preparedness, what's going on with the weather, and I'm sure giving some more hurricane tips this hurricane season. So, Rosemary, let's take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll be speaking with Cecil Shilliford, who's the expert in that field. I say this with no fear of contradiction. He's the expert in that field. We'll be back right after this.
Definitely.
So I gotta sing like
Storm Tip brought to you by Save-A-Lot. A storm can come at any time during the hurricane season. Being prepared is very important. Prepare for a storm by stocking up on emergency supplies, including canned and other non-perishable foods. Lots of water, batteries, lanterns, flashlights, storage containers, and resealable bags. First aid kit and battery-operated radio to stay up to date on the latest information. Also remember to have your mobile phones fully charged and have all emergency numbers handy. Visit Save-A-Lot Supermarket and HBC Department, and we will get you fully ready for any storm.
And we're back in the morning. Already 22 minutes going past the hour of 9 o'clock. We're back, and we're speaking now with Mr. Cecil Shilliford, who's been with us for the past few weeks, speaking about the hurricane season. Cecil, good morning to you.
Good morning, Lennon, and good morning, Rosemary. It's always a pleasure to be here.
Yes, indeed.
And I'm not going to call you Matt.
Well, thank you for that. Cecil, we're getting into the busy part, I should say, of the hurricane season, and I'm sure you have some tips for our listeners out there.
Yeah, as the season progresses, then you get more into the more active section of the season. Goes into late July, early August, even into September. But we just want to alert the general public, and I'm sure they've been hearing it from the Met Office, that there's a small system out in the Atlantic.
Yes, it was on the news this morning.
Yeah, and it is Tropical Depression number 4. But when it started off, it was pretty much moving due west, which was really coming into our area, but it either has already started or it will soon start taking a more northerly twist. Yes. So even if it comes across some of the islands, it will just produce some heavy rains, nothing significant. And it's just a tropical storm. It's not yet, it's a tropical depression. It's not yet a storm or a hurricane. But we just like to let people know that these things are around, and if they see the weather sort of deteriorating a little is just because this is going by. But we do not expect to get any impact in the islands. Originally, it was looking like it was going to affect the Leeward Islands, but it might veer significantly away from all the islands.
Oh, thank God for that.
Yeah, but of course, they have a mind of their own.
Yes,
so it can always change. It can always change its mind later and do something else. True. But again, we just want people to be on the alert. Ensure that they have all the things Rosemary has been speaking about, especially lighting. Yes, the mosquito population seem to be picking up. I had a few this morning bothering me. And I can have them biting me all over, but not doing the sound in my ears. So all the things that are required, ensure you have a lot of water, both for drinking, most importantly, but also for washing and cooking and what have you. And all the not necessarily canned foods. Not everybody like canned foods, but foods which do not really require a lot of cooking. Exactly. Things you can pretty much pick up and eat. So have some of that in store just in case. If you're living close to rivers, we've noticed a sort of a situation now. Every time it rains heavily, all the rivers go into flooding. So if you're living close to a river, and you see that there's a lot of rain, be on the alert, monitor what is happening. So if you need to leave, you leave, and you leave early. So a lot of these little things, the hurricane season is pretty much high winds, lots of rain, heavy sea swells. So you just have to be aware of those so that anything you see that any changes in anything, changes in the river, changes along the waterfront, that you keep monitoring and you take evasive action whenever the time is appropriate.
All right, very important that was one of the points I was gonna bring across. Since Tropical Storm Erica, we have seen that our riverbeds have been elevated significantly. I mean, normally you would get 3-4 hours of rain and it won't even affect anyone. Yeah. But now, since after Tropical Storm Erica, the riverbeds have been raised.
Well, there's a lot of siltation in the rivers, and not much dredging has been done. We've dredged a few of the rivers. I know the Checkhall River was dredged, the Rosa River has been dredged, and a few others in the south, etc. But not all. But another thing we saw after Erica, we have constant rains.
Yes.
So every time it rains, some more silt builds up, and 1 inch a day in 12 days will give you a foot.
That's true. That's true.
So that is what is happening. The constant rain pretty much piles up that, and I think if it continues like that, the Ministry of Works will have to have a sort of a schedule maintenance on the rivers in terms of dredging regularly. But again, that is why we want people to be on the alert if you're living close to a river.
All right, so we spoke about rivers and people live close to rivers. Another area that I wanted to touch on quickly is the storm categories. We normally hear Category 1, Category 2, Category 3, and lots of people out there might not be aware what that means. If we listen to the radio and say there's a Category 1 storm, maybe we should start from a depression and build up to
well, sometimes it's not even a tropical depression. You have tropical waves.
Or even a trough.
Or like sometimes a trough or just an area of disturbed weather.
Yes, we hear that.
So it's from that onto a tropical wave. Then it builds up to a tropical depression. And once it gets to about 34 or 39 miles per hour, it's then a tropical storm. Then, as you said, it goes into the hurricane when it gets to about 74 miles per hour, and you have the scalar numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Between 74 and 95, it is Category 1. 96 to 110 is a Category 2. 111 to 129 is a Category 3. 130 to 156 is a Category 4, and above 156, it is a category 5. And at the different categories, you have you can expect different. Well, not the wind speed here, you will have the different wind speed, but the different levels of damage given the situation. So if you have a minimal tropical storm, which is a minimal hurricane, which is 74 to 74 to 95, you would have sort of minor damage to the exterior of homes. You would have toppling of small trees or branches and things of that nature. But once you start to get to 96, you start to look at extensive damage. Category 3, 111 upwards, devastating. Category 4, 130 upwards, catastrophic. And then category 5, it's almost like all hell breaks loose. Wow. And of course, for Hurricane David, at some time of its life was a category 5 hurricane.
Wow. Yeah. So just before we take our first break on that, what are we expecting? How many named storms are we expecting for the season this year?
We're looking at about 17 named storms this season, and remember, 3 of them have already gone by. Yeah.
Yes.
We had the early one in April, and we had 2 of them which were pretty much back to back. We had the second one, which was Bert, and another one which was the sea. I'll tell you in a while what the sea was. We had, Brett and Cindy. Brett and Cindy. So there is a list of names for the 2017 Atlantic season, and we are hoping that we do not get through all these names. But you can never tell. Exactly. Even the one that's out there could be named whenever it reaches a tropical storm.
All right. So we have a caller on the line. I wonder if they have a question for you, sir. So let me just say good morning to the caller. Good morning.
Good morning. The only thing that calms me down is when I hear Mr. Cecil will break down something for you, because when I was coming on this CD, I thought I was going to get a little brush because I'm a person that coward. After Hurricane Arlene, I cannot forget how my roof flies. So anytime I hear wind too strong, Joey going down.
Yeah.
Anyway, Mr. Cecil, stick around and tell me how it's going, because I'm very nervous and my knees shaking and I'm afraid of strong wind.
Yeah, certainly. We'll let you know when they're coming. Yeah, all right.
I mean, quite a few people, after their experiences with David and Tropical Storm Erica, and even Arlene and some of the smaller storms, they get quite frantic, quite afraid.
Well, I guess it's typical human nature, you know. If something happens to you and you hear a similar something is coming your way. And it's not only for just hurricanes, because even when you have things like earthquakes and so on, when you have a big earthquake, for several days after, people are afraid. You know, you have some aftershocks and so on, and people are afraid to be either in their homes or people are nervous. So it's the same thing with the storms. Well, since Hurricane David, we have gone a little casual, but Erica gave us a sort of a wake-up call. And right now, once people hear of a tropical storm or a hurricane approaching, people are very much concerned, and right now, even more concerned about the river situation. I mean, the thing about it, Tropical Storm Erica was more a water, more rain event that caused a lot of damage in the areas where we have rivers, especially those that go through communities, Koliho, Kulibistri, and Roseau, etc. Checkall. So it will continue like that. It's just a normal human situation that when something happens to you, you're always on edge when you hear. I mean, even simple things like if somebody breaks into your house in the middle of the night,
then you have problems.
You have problems sleeping for the next week and months and so on. So, yeah, it's just a human situation.
Okay, but the way to the way to ensure that you do not be scared or frantic or always on the lookout and losing sleep is being
adequately prepared. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Especially knowing where your shelter is and ensuring that wherever you're sheltering is a safe place, and knowing that you can survive for several days after by having some of the things that you require. You know, the situation is once Domlec takes its electricity, that's the time we're looking for candle, we're looking for lamp. That's the time we realize we have no lamps in the house. Now, I just mentioned candles, but we do not encourage the use of candles during
any open flame.
Open flames, you know. And that's the time people realize, well, boy, the car is quartered. The last time I looked at the tank, maybe not all of us can maintain a full tank every day. You know, I had a friend who always used to put $20 in his tank. And I said to him one day, make an effort and fill the tank. And every day put $20. After you use the vehicle, it comes to the same thing. And, you know, he didn't see it that way, but I mean, that is how it really is. Make an effort, you fill the tank, and then every twice a week or what have you, you put in the $20 you're accustomed of putting. But the whole thing about when people go really berserk and frantic and what have you is because they are not adequately prepared.
Exactly.
I know I keep hearing an ad on the radio talking about the having your telephones charged and what have you. That is a very important thing. I learned my lesson during Tropical Storm Erica, where every minute I had to go and charge my telephone on the vehicle because I needed to be on top of the action. So people have to realize that you should maybe try to have a battery bank, or if you can do the charging. But one of the things we do not want people to do is the unnecessary use of the telephone. Only use the telephone when you need to use it. The thing about chatting is not the time to be chatting because it takes up
your battery life.
Not only the battery life, it takes up the capacity of the telephone system.
It's true.
And then after a while, people are trying to make calls and they cannot get through. So use it judiciously or sparingly. Just use it if you have to use it.
All right. A great discussion here. It's amazing how time flies. We've got like 3 minutes left on the program. Let's take a quick commercial break and come back and wrap up with the expert here.
Storm Tip, brought to you by Save-A-Lot. A storm can come at any time during the hurricane season. Being prepared is very important. Prepare for a storm by stocking up on emergency supplies, including canned and other non-perishable foods. Lots of water, batteries, lanterns, flashlights, storage containers, and resealable bags. First aid kit and battery-operated radio to stay up to date on the latest information. Also remember to have your mobile phones fully charged and have all emergency numbers handy. Visit Save-A-Lot Supermarket and HBC Department and we will get you fully ready for any storm.
All right, we got about like 2 minutes left on the program. Just going to wrap up with Cecil on the hurricane preparedness, getting prepared this hurricane season. Cecil, anything you want to leave our listeners with as we wrap up?
Well, just talking about the shelters. There's a shelters list out. It was a pull-out in the newspapers. It's on the official Gazette, and it's also being shown on the television
screen. Yes, I saw it on the graphic channel this morning.
But one of the things we just want to point out to people that it's not cast in stones. There may be changes, because one of the things that was pointed out to us is after we published it, one of the shelter managers or the assistants died. So, I know people, our human nature, we like to criticize and what have you.
But
it
happens.
Somebody will come and say, "Oh, look, they have that on television, and the man died already, or the lady died already." So it's not cast in stones. We will be making changes to it progressively as the season goes through. Don't be surprised if you see some little changes here and there.
All right,
and again, we just want people to be alert and be prepared.
All right, someone's on the line just to maybe squeeze in one question. Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you. Good morning to Mr. Shillingford.
Good morning.
Mr. Shillingford, you know the voice. I don't have to tell you who it is for sure. Are you aware that our GPS upriver stream is non-functional? Are you aware of that?
Could you repeat that, caller?
I want to ask Mr. Shillingford, are we aware of our GPS radar is not functional of Belfast area.
A GPS radar.
Oh, you have a GPS radar in Belfast State. It's part of the early warning system, and it's non-functional.
That's what I'm talking about. It's non-functional.
Yeah, well, you know, it was damaged during Tropical Storm Erica.
And another observation, I'm listening to radio, and you know how you fellas making up on your mind to have a little bit of promo in Creole to the listeners who may not be speaking understanding English.
Yeah, that's a good.
Understanding that we have non-nationals who speak Creole only in Dominica.
Yeah, that's a good point,
Every time I listen to our radio station, it's English. I mean, petroleum commercial in Creole. That some of the listeners who don't understand English will understand the fact.
Yeah, point taken.
All right, thank you very much, caller. The time is running out. But so we'll try to arrange that for our good friend over there in the Belfast State area.
Sure, we will, certainly. All right. Yes.
We want to thank you for coming by, and we look forward to another program, God willing, next week, Thursday. Rose, anyone thing you want to leave your
Yes, as usual, it's just to let our customers know, Dominicans know that preparation for the hurricane season is key, and to let you know that everything that you need for the hurricane season is available upstairs in the store, and all your water and your food that you need is also available in the supermarket. So be prepared and then get ready, and let's move on.
All right, well, thank you, Rosemary. Thank you to Cecil for joining us this morning. That was a fine foot stop this Thursday. You can join us tomorrow, God willing, for another program from 9 to 9:30. Till then, my name is Lennon. Have a pleasant day.
Enjoy the simple things, the joy Soul Dancer brings. You're from land to back, it's a good natured snack. All natural, and in chips. Land to pack, it's a good natured snack.
It's nature to you in no time. Pick up a pack of Soul Dancer today.
All natural, and in chips. Land to pack, it's a good natured snack.
It's the summer edition of Reggae on the Boardwalk. Reggae on the Boardwalk. Summer 17 kicks off Thursday, July 6th. School's out. ROTB returns Thursday, July 6th. And every Thursday this summer, more reggae, more dancehall, more vibe, door prizes, and much more. The biggest night entertainment. You must be at Reggae on the Boardwalk Thursdays this summer. ROTB is brought to you by Mira Entertainment, Digicel, Vibes Radio, Kupuli, and Kaz Media.
Fresh cash, 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 fresh cash.
It's just about 14 before the hour of 10 o'clock. Welcome back to the Hot Set. We have with us in studio two gentlemen that will be telling us all about Divest 2017. We have with us Miguel Labadie and William Lawrence, who is the president of the Dive Association, the Discover Dominica Water Sports Association, right? All right, so they'll be telling us all about the activities that they have planned, big activities coming up. And Miguel, you were saying that something big is happening tonight.
Yes, certainly. Good morning, Thompson and the listeners. I understand, for obvious reasons why you were challenged in terms of, reading clearly the names that we understand, but it's all good. But we're good to be here, and let me thank Q95 for their wonderful courtesies extended upon our arrival here this morning. So a thumbs up for that. So here it is. Tonight we will be resuming. That is part one of our brief discussion here. We resume with the biggest week night event, Reggae on the Boardwalk, the summer edition for 2017. That kicks off tonight down at the original spot, the Boardwalk in Lale Coco. That's a spot to be for the summer and beyond. Your top DJs are giving you some of the best, the latest and greatest in reggae music tonight. Many folks, if not 90% of the population, have been to Reggae on the Boardwalk at some point in time. We're just about a year and a few months kicking. Took a little break before the summer, and we're happy to announce that we're back on tonight. Greatest reggae music, finest reggae music to just chill, relax, hold the meds, skank a little rubber dub style, just feel irie, meet and greet people. There has been some upgrades to the place, and we're very elated about that, so folks can come and just experience a wonderful ambience at the Boardwalk tonight for Reggae on the Boardwalk. In the wee hours of the morning, we get into the dancehall groove, so you can expect to get a full mix of the finest in reggae music and some dancehall tonight. Wonderful people, well-stocked bar waits, great food, good company, and the perfect ambience with a few upgrades down at the Boardwalk.
Excellent. That sounds really good. Now, you also have some Divest activities that coming up shortly as well.
Yes, we know. Billy will speak briefly on it, but Divest 2017 is on. There was a fantastic activity last weekend down at Rosalie, your area, Thompson, the Turtle Love Day, family type event, and that was a success. The annual or traditional happy hour kickoff is on tomorrow night. This time it's at the boardwalk, so that is a place to be for the weekend. The next 2 nights it will be party non-stop, good clean fun for the mature people, young people who want to come out and just enjoy themselves. So the happy hour kickoff tomorrow night, the Kubuli happy hour kickoff is on with the #1 and most versatile party band on island, Fanatic, alongside DJ Matthew. Billy?
Yes, good morning to the listeners of Q95 in Dominica and the rest of the world. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. My name is Billy Lawrence. I'm the president of the Dominica Water Sports Association, and I'm here to talk a little bit about Divest 2017. It's already started. Pretty much, there was one activity, as Miguel mentioned, in Rosalie Bay, and tomorrow is our first major party for the Divest 2017. That's at the boardwalk. So this weekend is packed. We have our signature event also on the Saturday, which is Discover Scuba, Discover Scuba Diving. That's all done at the Anchorage. The Discover Scuba is absolutely free. Try it in the pool, and you only pay $50 if you want to go diving in the sea. We have lobster and mussels, lunch and dinner from Sunset Bay Club, Sunset Bay Club's Lobster Palace. I know a lot of Dominicans know that that's definitely one of the best places to get your fresh lobster. Proceeds from that dinner go towards the DWA, so please support us by having a nice meal. And on Sunday is a big day. We have whale watching at a reduced price from the Anchorage Hotel. Indian River boat rides, half price all day. If you've never been up the Indian River, Posse, we send in people to you. Right? Going up Indian River for half price. Stay in Portsmouth for the Wave Dancer Water Sports. Outdoor World, Vibes Radio, Kubuli. We have a water park challenge. If you don't know what the water park is, you need to make your way up to Portsmouth, Coconut Beach, and have a look at that. After that, we're going to have a full moon beach party, and that's Sunday evening. I also want to mention again the weather. We always mention the weather. The Water Sports Association, we're always concerned about the weather because we have boats, we have, we deal with the sea a lot, and we're staying tuned to the weather, okay? So we will advise you based on the advisory of the Met Office if there is any inclement weather, whether we postpone or cancel or whatnot. So just stay tuned. We have a lot of information on the website. This is quite a cadre of events we have going on. So you can always check www.dominicawatersports.com or just Google Dominica Water Sports or just Google Divest, and it will take you to an area where you can get more information.
Wonderful. So Divest is on. It's happening in a big way this weekend. I'm particularly interested in the Indian Water Boat Tour, and he said it's half price for
half price Indian River all day.
Wonderful. All day on Sunday.
Yes.
On Sunday.
And there's a telephone number. You can make a reservation, or you can just drive up to Portsmouth and say, hey, I'm here for the Divest. I want to go up Indian River for half price.
Wonderful, wonderful. And of course, the whale watching activity is also a very popular activity. Is that at a reduced price as well?
Yes. Normally, it's about between 60 and 80 EC dollars for locals to go out whale watching. For Divest, it's 50 EC dollars.
Oh,
that's for adults. Children under 12 is only $25. So you can bring your kids. You can bring the whole family out on Sunday morning whale watching from the Anchorage Hotel.
All right, that sounds really good.
Yes,
Miguel?
yes, Thompson. I just want to again inform folks that we resume tonight. I know you have missed your reggae on the boardwalk, and we are back on tonight for some good, clean fun, the best, latest and greatest in reggae music, and some dancehall. Big weekend, as we said, for Divest, and we're certainly happy that we have had the privilege to disseminate the information here. So we're inviting folks to come on, support the events, and just come and have some great entertainment.
Wonderful. All right. And of course, we encourage our listeners to go out and support the water sports activities, the Divest, a big activity taking place in Dominica on an annual basis. So go out there, support those activities, irrespective of the weather.
Yeah, man.
Yes, indeed. And of course, tonight, reggae on the boardwalk.
That's it.
Wonderful. All right. I can't say I'll be there because I don't want to contaminate anybody.
We understand.
But,
of course.
I would have normally.
Definitely.
Wonderful. All right. Well, Miguel, thank you very much. And Bill, thanks a lot for coming in.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right. Thank you.
Then.
Wonderful. All right. It's just about 5 before the hour of 10 o'clock as we move along here on this Thursday morning.
The 2017 Madame Wabdriet Canada Cultural Show is on Saturday, September 23rd at the St. Peter and Paul Banquet Hall, 231 Milner Avenue. That's Markham Road and the 401 in Toronto, Canada. Showtime is 7 p.m. The best of Dominica's culture will be on display as we celebrate 6 years of Madame Wabdriet Canada. The 2017 Madame Wabdriet Canada Cultural Show, a hot contest of beauty, flair, and color as our lovely ladies battle on stage. There can be only one Madame Wabdriet Canada. This year's theme is Viva Dominique, celebrating Dominica's unique culture. Tickets are just $60 for dinner and the show. Saturday, September 23rd, the 2017 Madame Wabdriet Canada Cultural Show at the St. Peter and Paul Banquet Hall, 231 Milner Avenue in Toronto, Canada. See you there. Ladies and gentlemen, get ready. The 2017 Team Madame Canada Cultural Pageant is coming. Sunday, September 10th at the Taipei Economic and Cultural Center at 888 Progress Avenue, Scarborough in Toronto, Canada. Showtime starts 2 p.m. sharp. Come see Les Jeunes Étoiles, the adorable young stars in their lovely Wabdriettes. The Team Madame Canada Cultural Pageant, Sunday, September 10th. Entertainment, dance, culture, cuisine, all for just $10 for adults and $5 for children. Our adorable contestants will thrill you with their energy and style. Come see Dominica's own young stars at the 2017 Team Madame Canada Cultural Pageant, Sunday, September 10th at the Taipei Economic and Cultural Center. That's 888 Progress Avenue, Scarborough in Toronto.
Yes, indeed. It's just about 3 minutes before the hour of 10 o'clock. We are almost out of time. And we are certainly almost out of time there. But we are definitely looking forward to continuing that conversation. So we can promise you that we will have more this afternoon on Talk on the Block. We will certainly continue on this particular theme that we started this morning. We obviously ran out of time here this morning on such a critical topic of national importance, the issue of crime and the punishment for crime, and just the brazen activities that we've seen occurring here in Dominica. So join us this afternoon on Talk on the Block for this, as we will continue that discussion.
So early in the morning, pleasant it is to hear the birds them singing. They know another day is dawning. Another day is dawning.
Now, in case you missed it, let me just play very briefly for you some of what you missed this morning, what we'll be discussing again later today.
My sister called me and she tell me, if where's Glenn? I tell her, well, Glenn maybe by his girlfriend or what, I didn't know. But then I call Glenn's phone, no answer. Then I call his father and I tell his father, I tell his father, was where Glenn? He tell me, well, Glenn on Michaud boss. I tell him, well, somebody shoot him because Merlin called me and tell me they shoot somebody on Michaud boss. Because he tell me, well, he leave Glenn on the boss.
I was walking down the road. I saw a boss, Eggleston. So I see a guy, I stopped talking to the guy. So he tell me he going on do a plumbing job, he waiting for a transport. So a bus coming. So I leave in him and I go into work. So I see some little fellas running at the back of the bus. Then I see 2 gunmen coming. So I continue walking. Then the bus stopped for the partner. Then I watching the 2 guys running and I walking. Then I turn back to see what distance they at the back of me to the bus, you know.
Gunmen past you.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I watching to see what distance. So one on that side, one on that side. So then as the bus just moving, I just see the guy in the window like that bend and give the guy the shot. Then he say, yes, I take him, rest it on his chest. I take the motherfucker. I burst him. So the other one say, my gun that lock on me, that's why I don't have time shoot him. So then they going down the road, he tell me, tell the fellas, they come in for them one by one, they take one. So I tell him I'm not in that, you know. So the other brother cranked the gun, he burst another bullet. His own, he say it had lock, so they're behind it. When the bullet come out, he burst it. They walk down the road, I walking down. They in front of me. They stop a little spot. He tell me, Plan, I telling you again, tell them, man, we coming for them. We just burst one there, we coming for them. I tell him I'm not in your stupidness, boy. Don't put me in all your nonsense. I one that was at the back of them tell him, say, yes, I in it. I give him information about them. I sell him out for police. I tell him I'm not in them shit. Work I going to work, I doesn't study all you, man. So he say, well, you in it too. So we coming for you too. So I still afraid, Mark. I still there. And I go on my emotion. So while I going down, I hear the partner that shoot the guy at the back of me telling another partner, yes, I take him, I rest it on his chest, and I burst the motherfucker. That's what I hear. Yeah, the transport move out. So then I check in, okay, the transport moving out. Why the chauffeur was stopping? Then I realize, well, it's gun business. The chauffeur have to do a way to see what he can escape. Is one, then I call his auntie. The auntie tell me she don't hear no things. I tell her, well, call Jodel to hear what happening. So when she called Jodel, she tell me, no, she in the hospital is Glenn they shoot. So I say, what? So time I going down the road, I see the police passing out.
Mom, I'm talking to his mother this time. When was the first time you heard what happened? When did you hear what happened?
Look, today?
Yes, when did you hear?
Is when my sister called me. My sister called me and she tell me, if where's Glenn? I tell her, well, Glenn maybe by his girlfriend or what, I didn't know. But then I call Glenn's phone, no answer. Then I call his father and I tell his father, I tell his father, was where Glenn? He tell me, well, Glenn on Michaud boss. I tell him, well, somebody shoot him because Merlin called me and tell me they shoot somebody on Michaud boss. Because he tell me, well, he leave Glenn on the boss and he take another boss to come up.
He is very nice and loving. Everybody loves Glenny. Everybody. Glenny have no problem with anybody. Glenny
He's not a troublemaker.
Never a troublemaker. You can ask everybody there. He's never a troublemaker.
So you were shocked to hear that?
Very.
Huh? All right, she's feeling really depressed at this time, sister.
Oh yes, indeed. We'll continue with this afternoon at on Talk on the Block as we continue with that particular.